In this episode, things get challenging.
This is brilliant.
100% chance of gas.
Give it to me, baby.
I think that's a Britney Spears song.
I almost don't know which way to look.
Well, you're not crying yet.
That better look good.
I love an abundant valley. Is there anything better than getting up at 3 a.m, grabbing your camera bag and heading up a steep mountain trail to shoot the sunrise? The only way Brent can get me up these trails is to lie about the distance.
Are we there yet?
We're almost there.
Are we nearly there yet?
Almost there.
You said that 4 hours ago.
We're almost there.
Now, we must be there now. Come on.
We're there.
Oh, thank God.
Here in Canada, it's customary to do high fives to celebrate victory, but I'm a Yorkshireman, so...
Well, after an extremely miserable 2-hour slog up this hill, we finally made it to Tent Ridge, which I'm going to guess is ironically named Tent Ridge because you've got zero chance of pitching a tent. What do you think?
No chance.
Maybe one. Maybe one tent in a whole ridge. It's basically a scree slope. And we've timed it perfectly because over in the east, I can see some gorgeous pink colour. Can you see that peak lighting up over there, Brent?
Looks amazing.
It's fantastic. So the hope is, as always, that these peaks and the clouds catch a bit of that beautiful glow with that colour. But if that doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world, because part of the reason why we've come up here is because round about 10:30 a.m, once the sun is a lot higher, the light blasts down onto the lake and you get these lovely blue spots. And what's really cool is when you've got a cloudy day, well, a sun and cloud, where you have patches of shade where the light isn't getting through because of the clouds, and then right next to it is this hot blue glow in the water. So that is our secondary hope after what we think might be an epic sunrise. What do you think the chances are?
We're pretty good. These, if we get some alpenglow, I'll be really happy.
50% chance?
You're probably right, yeah.
Oh.
100% chance of gas.
Oh, that is looking quite juicy.
In this video, Brent is going to demonstrate some panoramic landscape photography using his ridiculous medium format rig, so keep watching for the Pano cheat sheet. Now, one of the challenges of arriving at a new location in semi-darkness is that you really don't have much time for composition hunting.
In all honesty, this composition's a bit of a rush job. It's a bit of a mess because the light isn't in a pleasing place. I mean, these peaks over here have got some gorgeous light, but this peak here is kind of central to the composition that I've got right now. I really only composed it this way so that it includes that beautiful light. If I had that light over here, then I'd have a shot because it would reflect in the lake there. I mean, I'm taking the shot anyway, but it's not quite balanced the way I would like it. There is some gorgeous light just showing up over there. But at this stage, it's a bit of a long, thin strip. There's nothing going on up here and nothing going on down here. So I would actually crop this to probably a 6x2 panorama, which I'm 100% Brent is doing anyway. And when the light changes, if it moves from that peak over to this one and this ridge line here, then I'll change my composition completely and angle it more towards that direction and probably zoom in much closer, because right now I'm at 18mm, but this light is spectacular. If this is all that we get from this hike, then I'll consider it time well spent.
Hey Gavin, come check out this spot.
What?
The large trees just fill in this empty spot here. Looks amazing.
All right, let's have a look. Yeah, Brent was right. I'm glad he suggested this, because this little ridge here with the larch trees just fills that void in the middle of the frame. And there's all these lovely little wildflowers. I don't know what they are. These ones are white with a yellow center, and then there's also these little kind of purpley ones down here which are quite gorgeous. Oh man, this light is spectacular. Imagine this in September when these larch trees go yellow and it starts to glow with the I'm coming back. That's all there is to it, Brent. We're coming back in September.
If you do plan on visiting this spot, just realise that I shot this in July.
So the sun is just about to peak up over that mountain there, and then you're going to see all of these peaks really start to ignite. This is what I love. I love that moment of ignition. It's almost worth the miserable hike up. I know that I complain about hiking and I whinge, but I forget all of the misery of that when I'm here and it's just kicking off. The reward is so worth the effort. All it cost me was 4,000 calories. And usually when I get to a spot like this after a hike, I just need a massive feed, but I'm in such a heightened state of exhilaration and my adrenaline's pumping that the last thing I'm thinking about right now is eating. I just want to get the shot. Oh wow, look at that. So that is what I'll do. I'll just commit to shooting and shooting and shooting, and then when I think that's the end of the light, all of a sudden I'm pretty sure I'll get ravenously hungry and then I'll have a massive feed. But oh my God. What do you think, Brent?
It's great, man.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Okay, so let me give you a cool little tip here. So what I'm doing with this shot, this is what Brent calls a cheetah pano. And that's because basically I'm composing the shot knowing that this area here and this area of sky up here is going to be cut out. All that I'm going to be left with is this kind of 6x2, possibly a 4x2 strip right out of the center. So it looks like a panorama. Now, whenever you shoot in a panorama like that where you've got mountains and you've got them in the middle of the frame there, what you can do is make them look a lot taller by angling your camera down and pushing them up towards the top of your lens distortion and stretch them out. So I'll see if I can do that one-handed. Hang on, this is going to be a bit sketchy. So what I'm going to do is, that's where I started. Now hopefully you can see this, but as I angle it down, look how those peaks stretch. And that's okay, I can just stop that there, lock the tripod down, because I was going to crop this part out anyway. In fact, I could angle it down a little bit more to something like that and stretch them out even more, because that's what I would have ended up with. And now all I'm doing is I'm cutting out this amount of space, which is about the same amount that I was going to cut out, with the added bonus that these peaks are, I would say, a good 20% taller than they were when I'd squashed it down into the center of the frame. So that's a really good tip for when you're doing a cheetah pano and you want whatever it is in the center to be stretched out and looking taller. And in this case, it looks way more dramatic.
In conditions like these, you definitely have to become reactive to the rapid changes in light. And when you're presented with so much beauty and on such a grand scale, it's easy to miss that golden moment. So while I was happy with this shot, I knew I could do better. I just had to be ready.
I mean, what more do you want out of life? I've got this epic beam of light coming in. The lake is actually starting to glow with a bit of blue now. We've got some gorgeous light hitting these foothills. Oh, man. Honestly, what more do you want out of life? Do you like this, Brent?
Give it to me, baby. Oh, yeah.
I think that's a Britney Spears song. Doesn't surprise me.
The light was getting better by the minute. I could feel that golden moment just around the corner. And with a couple of decent shots in the bag, I felt that I deserved a little snack for my efforts. You know, just to refuel before the next shot.
Let me show you this. It's ridiculous. There's Brent. There's epicness.
It just blows your mind, though. It's so spectacular.
As soon as the sun took over the show, the larch trees began to glow. Light beams 4 kilometers long make a photographer want to break out in song. Unless, of course, Brent's doing the singing. That would just be awful.
It's weird, like I lived in Calgary for just over a year, and me and Brent used to come out and shoot in the mountains all the time, and we never came up here.
No, I've done just about every ridge in this valley, but I haven't done this one, and it is the best, actually. Saved the best for last, yeah. It's amazing.
And for us to get epic light like this on our very first time, ridiculous.
I almost don't know which way to look, honestly, or which way to point my camera, because it looks good in every direction. And I guess that's the bonus of being up on a ridge, is you get this sweeping view in every direction. So we could be here sunrise, sunset. It's good in every time, every direction.
It's a very abundant valley. I love an abundant valley. I know that you gave me this chocolate for my birthday.
That was for your birthday, yeah.
And today's no longer my birthday.
What are you saying?
I suppose I've got to share it.
That's quite the offer there. I know you like your chocolate. I do appreciate it.
It really is.
That actually means a lot more because you like your chocolate so much.
Well, you're not crying yet?
Not yet.
Ooh, look at that splash of light on there. That's what you're after.
Or are you just going to eat the chocolate every time you point your finger?
Was it worth the hike then?
Oh, it was. It was worth the hike just to hear you groaning all of the way up. Oh! Oh, God!
I don't do that.
No, it's like,
I'm a specimen of athletic prowess.
Are we nearly there yet?
You are a specimen.
So, I'll eat my brownie now, I've said that. It's rock hard. There's nothing worse than a rock hard brownie. Do you want some of this brownie?
Oh, I would love some. It's rock hard though, so. But if you snap it in half, that means I get to choose which side I want.
Which side do you want?
Whichever side you don't lick first, probably, but.
I licked both of them.
You just made an amazing morning even better. Thank you, sir.
Well, I mean, just, basking in my presence should be enough.
There we go. You're up to 44,000 followers and your head's in the clouds, yeah.
This turned out to be my favourite shot of the day, and I spotted the composition while I was framing up that little video clip you just watched, so I knew that all I had to do was wait for the light to work its magic on those monumental structures. The ultimate reward for the landscape photographer is always good light, and it tastes so much sweeter when you have to work for it. But my old bones were in need of a rest.
Brent wants to stick around. He's just down there dropping a bush nugget. I'd like to go back to the camper, but of course he wants to stick around. So I'm gonna have a nap in this really uncomfortable spot. Oh God, it's awful. I'm not sure I could be more uncomfortable. There you go, that's terrible.
Well, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Right, Brent, can you just talk my viewers through your process for shooting mega panoramas?
Yeah, sure, man. So what I've started doing recently, and it's helped a lot, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, is just using my iPhone. And I'll do the pano there. It's really important that you're not moving your arm because you're not doing that with here. You get duplicate trees. So you just sort of rotate your phone. And
kind of pivot it.
Yeah, pivot. And I've done that 5 or 6 times. I've done it over there, I've done it over here, until I find the composition I want. I usually crop it down a bit so I can visualize.
So you use your phone to pre-visualize, and in a much quicker, you get a quick result, right? Real quick, rather than shooting on that with bracketing and everything. Just go.
Yeah, and there's too many times I've made all this effort to come out, and then I go home and the composition isn't quite right. Panos are pretty hard to get a good composition for, and this just makes it way, way, way faster to do. So I've taken the tripod out, I've taken my panorama head out. Really important that you level this, so there's a leveling base, there's a little bubble level there. Yep. It's level, boom, done already. And yeah, so I usually do between 7 and 9 shots. I usually overshoot just in case I want to crop.
7 and 9 shots, so those are 50 megapixel files. 9 shots, vertical, ridiculous.
Yeah, it ends up being really big. My computer's starting to choke on it, to be honest, but anyway, so this is what I'm doing today. I'm taking 1 light, 1 dark exposure, just make it really simple. Okay, there's 2. I overlap by about 50%. You can do more if you want, that's fine. I wouldn't do much less than, some people say 33%. I always like 50, just to give myself some margin for error. You don't want an empty spot in your panorama, the computer can't put it together.
So you're just eyeballing it based on experience.
That's it. I mean, some people will do the math and look at the little markers here, but 50%, a little bit more is fine. I'll put my hand here and do one shot at the end of my panorama, just so that when I bring it home, because I've taken maybe 10 panoramas already, I don't want to get home and have hundreds and hundreds of shots. I don't know where they begin, where they end.
Yeah.
That's just a really simple trick so that in Lightroom you can tell where your panorama is.
Yeah.
I'll go home, I'll merge all of them, so I'll take the, say, 8 or 9 shots, merge those, merge those, merge those, merge those, and see which one's the best.
All right, well, if this shot looks any good, here's the shot. That better look good.
So here is Brent's panorama. Now, a YouTube video is not going to do it justice because this pano has so much resolution. You could create a wall-sized print and still have it pin sharp. Now, Brent and I are actually toying with the idea of creating a very posh online photography course for panorama photography. So if you think you might be interested in that, there's a link to the mailing list in the description below. I figured I had just enough time for one last shot, and I wanted at least one frame to show you that lovely dappled light on the lake, and we did get perfect conditions for that kind of light. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to tickle my bell and tune into the next episode where Brent tries to steal Cletus. And there's also still time to pick up both chapters of my Composition Made Easy course while they're on sale. There's a link in the description below.
Right, mate. It was brilliant, but can we go down now?
It's time to go down. Let's do it, man.
All right, let's do it.
So we finally made it down the very bottom of the hill, back almost to the camper. You can just see the camper in the background there. And look at all of these cars. I guess they're a bit pissed off that I parked like that. I had no idea that it would be so busy. When we left, we were the only vehicle there. Oops.